Hello everybody. So, a few things before this video begins is, first off, if you hear faint buzzing in the background, it's the dryer. I had to do laundry, so sorry, there wasn't much I could do about that. As well as, I know the audio quality isn't amazing. I'm recording this on a phone. I do have a tendency to a few speaking habits that are pretty bad. You might have already caught one. I say a lot, and I say, well, anyways, way too much. So, I'm sorry about that. As well, this is not scripted, which is kind of odd for me being a writer. But anyways, getting on with the video. So, a few weeks ago at this point, if I'm remembering correctly, it could have been like a month or two ago, a YouTube channel by the name of the Theorizer, someone who I've been subscribed to for a little while now, he uploaded a video that was, I can't even remember the title. It was something about Patrick Star from SpongeBob having basically multiple personalities and explaining why he is the way he is, kind of delving into him. I did check, because I left a comment that I was going to basically use as the script for this video. That video got taken down by the Viacom police. Of course, anything related to SpongeBob, they instantly shoot down. Gosh. But basically, my video, or my comment went something like, Patrick, he may have these multiple personalities because of his childhood. So, and the Theorizer here always likes to, he encourages, us commenters and whatnot to kind of discuss and whatnot. So that's what I was going to do here today. So in his video, he goes over why Patrick has all these different personalities, and I did one quick Google search after that comment, and it kind of confirmed everything I was thinking. Now, the thing with multiple personality disorders is, and the reason why I had to look it up was I didn't know if that kind of disorder, what caused it. Because I know when it comes to certain disorders, it could be caused either by just really nothing, and by nothing I mean nothing genetically, no traumatizing incident or anything. However, I know that more often than not, it's either something that had to do with parents or a traumatic event as someone in their childhood. And I looked it up. That's exactly what causes multiple personality disorders. It would be something traumatic in someone's childhood. Now, in my comment, I went over a few things that basically delving into what Patrick's childhood could have been. Now, in the episode he mainly discussed, it was, I can't remember the name of it, but the episode, it follows Patrick, and he's like cleaning up his place for his parents. And he spends all day basically trying to impress them. SpongeBob, he acts like an adult, even more so than he actually is, to make Patrick look smarter in front of his parents. And then at the end of the video, the entire punchline is basically, no, those weren't Patrick's parents. They're all starfish are dumb as rocks. And his actual parents were over bugging Squidward. The episode wasn't honestly one of my favorites, and even though I've kind of grown out of watching SpongeBob, especially in the modern era of the show, which I've watched like a few episodes, and honestly the animation, I don't like it at all. But that's not what we're here to talk about. So, the episode, like I said, wasn't one of my favorites, but it was one of the few episodes that actually looked at Patrick as a character. And as I was watching the Theorizer's video, I couldn't help but think of, one thing I'll go into a little bit more in detail here in a bit. I couldn't help but think about that video as a whole, as well as that episode as a whole, as well as another episode that follows, once again, Patrick and his big sister Samantha, or Sam, whatever it is, coming into town for a bit of a visit. Now, the thing about his sister Sam is she's huge. Like, she's a humongous, I wanted to say person, but starfish, whatever. And it basically doesn't look, act, talk even at all like Patrick. And yet Patrick has this undying, brotherly love for her. And I couldn't help but think what Patrick's life, his childhood must have been after watching the Theorizer's video. So, again, multiple personality disorder, gosh, I can't talk, is often caused by something traumatic happening in someone's childhood. Now, in the episode with his parents, the main question that came to me was, why did Patrick immediately accept these false parents, or these false, imposters or whatever, as his actual parents? Yeah, in the episode and what's canon is that they're just dumber than a box of rocks, but I couldn't, that didn't sit well with me. And then with the Theorizers, him offering that, this personality disorder thing, I couldn't help but think, of course, as well, with that it's caused through something traumatic as a childhood. Again, it just all set off so many red flags, and I got to thinking, maybe he accepts them not because he wants to, but because his mind accepts them as his parents, even though they aren't. So the theory I kind of came up with it was actually very just off the top of my head, but either way, it was Patrick's parents, his real parents, basically disowned him as a very, very, very young child. He was picked up by this other, family, the imposters in the episode, and even they disowned him. Now, think about that for a moment. The reason why I think his original parents disowned him was because of a line in that episode. It was, what was it? Oh, it was his imposter parents. It was a line that they said at the very end, basically, was, well, we didn't even have children at all. Which, again, why would they then even think that Patrick was their child? It doesn't make sense. Again, yes, punchline, but dumber than a box of rocks, yada, yada, yada. But what I was thinking was, okay, the question, the variable that was in my theory was that it's basically that why did his original parents disown him? I'm not exactly sure. I rewatched a few episodes that had Patrick in it. I couldn't come up with anything. However, I am still trying to elaborate on what the Theorizer came up with. His adopted parents, I'm just gonna keep referring to them as adopted parents. Okay, so when it comes to his multiple personality disorder, which I'll probably just try to refer to as MPD for just making it easy on myself. I think that could have come from, well, look at it. If your original parents disowned you, that would already be horrible, especially as a young child. And then your adopted parents, who, many orphans and whatnot, they wait their entire lives. And they pray that one day a family will adopt them. Patrick, he didn't even have that. He most likely wasn't even at an orphanage. Then again, who knows it? He may have. He's apparently known SpongeBob his entire life since he was a young child. I just thought that was shown in an episode, so who knows? Maybe he was in an orphanage, but I don't know. anyways, either way, an orphan, they wait their entire lives sometimes, or at least until, whenever it is they are adopted, that, they're gonna go to this amazing family who will take them in and love them for who they are, and it's just gonna be the best thing. And Patrick, he gets that, but even they didn't want him. And again, the reason why I think his adopted parents didn't want him, again, was because of the line saying that they didn't have children. Now, why I think that Patrick at one point was their child was because they accepted him as a child in this episode. Basically, I'm not gonna deny in the show, a lot of the starfish are often pretty dumb. So it could have been they were remembering that once, they did take him in as their child, yet at some point, they did, of course, disown him, but in this episode, they still perceived him as their child. Now, where his big sister Sam comes into all of this is, the thing is, his big sister Sam isn't anything like him. That's something that I can tell the writers and just everyone on the show went for. That was the main thing, especially with, SpongeBob and Squidward's reaction to his sister and everything. It's too obvious. Of course, in her speech patterns and everything, it was just, that's exactly what they wanted you to think, and it's obvious. And the reason why I think Patrick is so quick to, of course, take her in as his sister is probably because once his adopted parents disowned him, that's who he went to. Or, his big sister Sam found him and just took him in and cared for him, loved for him. And I'd say that's even evident by the fact that he is, till the very last second of the episode, or, well, not last second, but you know what I mean, he defends her in everything she does. She can do no wrong in his eyes. So, taking all of that into account, that kind of trauma as a child most likely could have, led to some sort of multiple personality disorder. Especially when you think, what I like to try to think of is what was going on in his mind throughout the entire thing. I am an overweight person myself. I have been since I was very little. And so I know all about bullying. And so I can, in some sort of sense, get where his, mindset was at. That feeling of just not being wanted and just feeling like you were a mistake. That's something I can personally relate to. So I think that's something that could lead to a multiple personality disorder. His brain could have very well used it as a defense mechanism. Hey, you're feeling down and out about who you are. Let's make someone else, and, well, that's who you are. Let's make someone who is happy for you. I know that's layman's terms, and I'm not even sure exactly how multiple personality disorders work. And I like how I said I was going to use shortcuts, but that didn't happen. Anyways, I don't know how it works exactly, but I would think at least that would be some sort of trigger for it. So, and then of course, his big sister, like I said, he defends her in absolutely everything she does. she comes in, she destroys all the the SpongeBob and Squidward's houses and everything, and still he protects her. Again, I think that's because she protected him in a time of need. Okay, that's kind of all I had. It's not the best theory in the world. It could definitely be expanded upon. I probably could have done more research on it, but at the very least, I don't know. Maybe this could be the next part of the theory that the Theorizer came up with. And it stinks that I don't remember too much about the video, since it did get taken down. So I hope he gets it back up, and I hope that with that video as well as this one, it kind of sparks a little bit more interest. Again, I'm a teenager who I've grown out of SpongeBob, but at the same time, it's an interesting show, and it, considering it's been around for decades, I believe. I'm guessing decades. Since even my brothers and sisters watched it when they were young. It's an interesting show to me, and I think theories like this are what can make something that you've once grown out of interesting again. So I'm just kind of here to, fuel the fire, fan the fire, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I'm also horrible at ending videos. So anyways, I'll be looking forward to your comments. I'll be definitely making... I don't get many notifications, in all honesty. So I'll definitely be checking, and I'll know whenever anyone comments on this video. And I'm definitely going to be sending it to the Theorizer, seeing what he has to say about it. So that's all I really had to say about this. I hope he gets it back up, and I'm looking forward to all your comments. See you later.